Look at how good she looks.
Yeah.
All right, so she's all finished. Stay tuned to the end of the video and we'll do a complete recap on how much everything costs to build a can like this yourself. What's up, guys? So today we have a really fun day. I'll go ahead and show you the bike. By the time you guys see this video, the bike will already be at the dealership and it'll be getting all this stuff fixed. You know, the gas problem, warranty work, blah blah blah. It sucks. Brand new bike, already down, but it is what it is. Can't be upset. So for the project that we're going to be doing in the meantime, I want to be able to create you guys some cool content. So today, as you guys know, it's all stock, so my exhaust is going to be gone. The bike's going to be tuned. It's going to be a badass bike. But anyways, the bike is going to be gone at the dealership for a couple weeks, so I need something to do. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build an exhaust pipe. So here is what we have. As you can see, it's a busted up Yoshi Alpha pipe that Brandon donated off of his R1. And of course I got like the two brothers and stuff like that. So we got some good old stuff that your boy picked up. Wait till you see this. This is gonna make our job so easy. So I'm gonna show you guys how to build an exhaust pipe basically from scratch. So I got some stuff from Advance, some resin. Now this, I don't know if you can see, is carbon fiber. This isn't wrap, this is real carbon fiber. I got this from like an aviation surplus store, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what this is for. Now you can get just dry weave for this, but I was lucky enough to find a 4x4 sheet of what's called pre-preg frozen carbon fiber. And basically what pre-preg frozen carbon fiber is it's already carbon fiber that's had one layer of like epoxy, like resin already put on it. It's high temp resin, it's aircraft grade. So all we're gonna have to do is basically we're gonna take this exhaust apart. You know, instead of drilling out the rivets like you should, like if you're shortening an exhaust, we're gonna take the grinder and actually just grind all this off, separate it, get it down to it's just baffling like this, where it's just baffling and the packing. And then we're gonna take all this off, We're gonna reuse a little part of this if we can, because it's butchered to right there from Brandon's wreck. But we're gonna basically create a whole new exhaust can out of these parts. So let's get ready. All right, so first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and trim up and take this exhaust pipe apart. Now in our case, we're only keeping a little bit of the carbon fiber, so we can actually cut this down. Alright, got all that stainless off. Now what's good is with Yoshi packing, it's not just pressed in packing, it's what's called dog hair packing. So you can see it's bits and pieces. So when we build our new exhaust, we won't have to worry about it being sheets like usual. Alright, get all this out of here. Give us a fresh work surface. Now this, garbage. Like I say, if you're shortening an exhaust, this is not the route to go. You're not gonna be doing this at all. But I'm gonna see if we can kind of bend this out. Now, this is what I'm thinking. This baffling is all one core support. So I think what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cut around here and just keep that hole, because then with this, like that, it's actually gonna be coned down to it. Yeah, I think it's gonna look good. Now we have a good base. So there's our baffling. See, now that I got this piece here, I can trim this up. We'll make it circular, nice and smooth, and then that carbon fiber will come down and come from this piece here. I'm actually going to trim this a little bit too, because I want it to be more circular. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I might just build a new carbon fiber piece for this. You know, make it oval. I don't know. But, all right, next step. All right, so what we're going to do, I've seen, is like right here. Like I say, I know the lighting's pretty bad. But this here, this kind of trumpet piece, what we're actually going to do is we're just going to cut those welds, pull this off, and I got another piece from AutoZone that will either weld to this, that it'll slip over our mid pipe, or we'll cut it down and then weld it right here to the baffling. So that's what we're going to do now. All right, so now let me show you what we got. So this is our mid pipe. This mid pipe I had left over from our Gixxer build, and basically this is going to slide over like that. It's going to be hung by springs to right here. This piece right here is where we're going to weld on our actual spring brackets that we have. Let's see. Oh, well, maybe we cut those down. We'll figure it out. Basically, we're not going to even need springs, but we'll end up welding those little mounting brackets and putting springs on here. But this is going to be welded on to that. See? Oh, man, if we could fit it, that'd be even better. Yeah, so basically, I'm just going to weld this piece onto that, and then our carbon fiber is going to start right here and go all the way to this can. And we're going to make a cone. So let me trim this up, and then we'll weld it down and figure it out. Now that we got that done, okay, so we'll tack that and then run a bead there. Perfect. Alright, she's MIG welded. Next step. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay down this carbon fiber. Alright, so now we got our piece cut. We can go back and trim this up. I just want to make sure I got the right size. You can see. Alright, so now what I like to do is, once you got this carbon fiber pre-preg where you want it, close enough at least, now we'll take some tape, taper around so it's nice and tight. With this exhaust, it's going to be butted right up against the carbon fiber. So that way it looks like carbon all around. See, and we can push it in a little bit. So when you see it, it's going to look like just carbon fiber, but there's actually that metal piece right there. Now with this, we're going to straighten this the way we want it. Still don't know what we're going to do with this end can, but pop it in like that. You see it's not as long, but I don't really want the can that long, so I think I might actually shorten the baffle down a little bit. Yeah, I think so. So I want it to be like about here. So slide this out. And then we'll go ahead and cut this real quick. Alright. Now this is shortened. Let's see how she fits now. Alright, so now we got that on like there. Let's put this in our cone. Get as tight as you can. Don't worry, we're going to do final trimming, but look, see where we're at now? So now we can actually wrap this, drill it, rivet it, and then just cut the rest around it. So I get it real tight, and then we'll tape it just like on the front. So get it where you want it on the cone, and get it tight. So, got the cone nice and tight. Pull our two ends. Like that. And now, we will taper on. All right. See, so now, it's the basic shape of our cone right there. So it'll be from here to here and then back down a little bit to that piece. So this will actually get flanged down like that. So, now I'm going to drill some holes and get her in. Alright, so this is what we got so far. Mocked up carbon can. That's the link pipe I'm going to be using. That'll be getting cut and stuff, but this is our next job. So we have the end cap in. That'll get riveted, but I'm going to make a end cap that'll actually fit. I don't know if it'll fit this exhaust, but it'll end up getting made. You know, if I got to cut it, it'll get cut, but that's what we're going to do now. Alright, so now I'm going to drill this. Don't worry, it's all going to get trimmed up at the end. But now, basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk this around and drill out rivets. And then I'm going to mount it all up, and then I'm going to put a layer of fiberglass on this, resin on this seam, and it'll be good to go. So, let's get it drilled. Alright, so now we're going to drill the first hole. Just remember, don't put the rivet in. You're just drilling the first hole, then we're going to take this end cap off and put the packing in. So you're just getting a guide hole. Alright. So now, take your tape off. Now you know where it's going to go. That way we can put all our packing in there. Alright, so let's go in with that pilot hole we just made. So, pull all the tape. Just do this on a surface that don't have a lot of metal shavings so you don't scratch all your carbon fiber. Or if you're using metal, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so. Alright, let's grab the rivets and the rivet gun. So we got our rivets now. You can open the bag. Okay, we'll just rip it. So these are the ones we're using, just the tiny ones. Alright, So now we're going to put the rivet on the small side first. All right, that's in. All right, first rivet's in. All right, so now we're gonna put the next rivet in. All right, next rivet in. All right, so now we're gonna pull the end cap, put some packing in it. Now what I do is once we got that first rivet in the end can, now we go ahead and take some extra packing and we'll put it in there before we stuff it all together. Alright, so now we got all this in. Use your tool, make sure it's all tucked. Now, get your exhaust. It's going to be tight because all the packing. But get it to where there's no seams. So, I mean, honestly, the best way to do it, since we're using an end can like this, is to go a little bit and then drill your hole. Like, get the carbon fiber super tight, like that. We'll drill our hole. Alright guys, sorry in advance already, you know, the lighting situation. It's nighttime, I work all day, so this is when I have time to work. So there's been a change of plans. This is the exhaust. Basically what happened was, last night after the battery died, I put another thick layer of epoxy on here because I'm going to sand it down real good. But you can see where this is kind of split. So it's all reinforced and riveted in and everything, and probably wouldn't get through the glassing, but that's just not the right way to do it. So I'm going to sand all this down, and there's been a change of plans. We're actually going to weld back on that little end can, and we're going to make a carbon fiber end can, like cap, you know, like how it was on the original. So what I went ahead and got is this right here. This is what they call the expensive stuff. This is a 50-inch by 36-inch linear yard, but it's the high-end 2x2 twill carbon fiber. That's cloth. I'm gonna bust that out. You guys will see what that is. But this is made in the USA. This is real good stuff. Support your local guys. This is the company that always hooks me up when I do exhausts. They're just far away. I just happen to be down in West Palm Beach, so they're right there. But check them out. They're really cool people. And this whole kit is about 50 bucks. But the thing is, it comes with, that's the high-end carbon fiber. They always have discount carbon fiber. You can get like a whole kit like this for 35 bucks. Hit them up. But this comes with the resin, which is high temp, up to 175 degrees, which is perfect. This is the hardener and all that jazz. Basically, it's UV resistant, but what's cool is this is a surfacing wax modifier, and this goes in your final coat and really protects it, and it's just going to look amazing. So yeah, we got some gloves and stuff like that. I want to put enough to really layer it up. Just a couple drops is all you need of this stuff. Mix her on up. This isn't just like cheap AutoZone or Walmart epoxy. This is like really high-end professional stuff. So what's good about saving the money is you do it yourself, practice, have a little fun with it, and you buy the good products, and it's still cheaper than having somebody else do it with shitty material. Alright, here we go. So this is raw carbon fiber. Just like the pre-preg we got, but this is a lot better stuff, and we can... Alright, well, that's the first layer of skin right there. So I'm gonna cut that. Alright, so the daylight's a little bit better. You can actually see. I got it out here baking in the sun, but that's after the first skin. So I'm gonna Dremel it down and actually start to make it look like a pipe. And then we're gonna put an end cap in it and then put our last layer, but she's looking good. All right, so just got done trimming her down and then building this little end cap. Sorry, I forgot my to start the camera while I trim this up and put that end cap on, but that'll get trimmed down again, and then maybe another layer of carbon fiber, and then the last layer of resin with the wax in it to make it really, really shiny and nice. It's coming together good though. Doesn't even do justice on camera. It's looking real nice. All right guys, so I just did the final trimming and sanding. Can you see the mid pipe? She looks nice. I don't even know if the camera is doing it justice, but that's as good as it's gonna be. Now she'll get the final layer and all these imperfections will look so smooth and everything. So let's get her back on the rotisserie and finish her up. All right, so we're almost done. Today, all I'm gonna be doing is sanding down just these little imperfections of where the paraffin kind of ran, and you know, just kind of getting it all perfect. And all right, so now we got the new style shabu shabu over here, the nice old shawarma shish kebab, custom made, aka Harbor Freight Jack. But this just got the last layer of resin on it, and now we're just gonna let that cure overnight, and then tomorrow she'll get sanded and get all smooth and everything. But she's looking good. Okay, so I didn't film yesterday because it was just a bunch of wet sanding, you know, low spots with 1000 grit. And you guys, if you're attempting this project, you should already know how to wet sand. So I basically went over everything with 1000 grit sandpaper yesterday, and then last night I put the last layer of finishing epoxy, you know, the resin on there. So this will get wet sanded one more time, but I did the final trimming. Everything else will just get sanded now, but it's looking really good. Now, of course, when you sand it, it's going to look matte, so you can either polish it up or you can just use clear coat, which in my case, all my carbon fiber on my Aprilia is matte. So this is actually going to be satin. I mean, I didn't want a hand-built exhaust that looked like everybody else's, so I'm not going to gloss it. So it'll be matte cleared. So I'm gonna jump on the sanding of this, and then I'll let you guys know how it looks after it's all sanded up. Alright, so just got done doing the 1000 gritting, the last coat, and this is how she looks. A couple scratches in there, of course, because it'll still get 1000 gritted. Excuse me, 1500 grit, 2500 grit, but that's it. It's super light. So it's going to get cleaned up after it gets sanded, but we're going to go ahead and get those layers. Alright, so this is after 1000 grit, 1500, 2000, and 25 grit. She's already pretty nice and like polished. Just has a little satin. So if you were doing it gloss, this is when you would just get the rubbing compound and go and polish the pipe. But we're going to put a coat of VHT high temp satin clear. This stuff. So put that on and let it. Alright, so I just got done putting the first coat of matte clear on it. Cleaned up the exhaust pipe, everything, but she looks pretty. So like I said, I'm doing matte clear. So if you're just doing gloss, you can either gloss clear or you can just polish the pipe, but I'm doing matte to match the carbon fiber on my bike. So but we're almost done. Couple more coats of clear, and then she'll be all ready. All right, so all the sanding was done on the first layer of clear coat, and I just put the final layer, like nothing's going to be sanded, of satin clear coat on here. So you can see it's matte carbon fiber. Still, some of it's a little glossy because I just laid it on and used the heat gun to cure it just a little bit, but once that completely dries in about 10-15 minutes, then I'll take the heat gun and kind of bake it on. I don't want to ruin my oven, so I'm using a heat gun, but it's looking so nice. Okay, so with the finished exhaust, basically from the steps you've seen to get it to this, you've seen me layering on the clear coat. So what I did after that is I just sanded down the clear and got it super smooth. All the imperfections, you know, I just 1000 gritted it and sanded it down to get all those imperfections out and make the exhaust perfectly smooth from every angle. Then what I did is I layered another 2-3 layers of the matte clear on it because it doesn't get sanded down. So I sanded the first couple layers down that kind of had, you know, they're layered up there good. So I sanded that down to give us a little bit more of a smoother surface. And then I went ahead and just layered another 3 layers of satin clear once it was smooth like I wanted it to. It looked matte, you know, like you've seen in the clip before. But this is all finished. So I didn't have to sand nothing else after I was done sanding. I just had to put the 3 layers of clear coat on it. So if you're doing matte like me, you put the matte clear coat, leave it alone, let it bake, and it's good to go. And if you're doing gloss, then you get the gloss clear coat. I like the VHT high temp header paint because it also prevents UV, you know, fading and things like that. Not just, I mean, as far as the can getting hot, because we did test this on Brandon's R1 and it didn't get hot to the touch at all. So it is a little overkill on something like this, but we know that it's not going to fade and it's going to definitely, you know, keep up real good with our Florida heat and our sun that we get out here. Yeah, so after that, you're all good to go. And there's your exhaust pipe. If you guys have any questions, you know, anything, please comment down below. I try to answer everybody's questions, you know, or anybody's comments. So if you do have any questions about this project, just let me know and I'll try to reply to them pretty quick. Alright, so the exhaust is all done. So I want to go over basically an overview with you guys of how much everything costs and kind of more in depth the steps that it took to get to here. So basically what we started with is just resin and the frozen carbon fiber, which is the carbon fiber that came like already with 1 layer of epoxy on it. So the resin and frozen carbon fiber. So for the first, it was $25 for the first thing of resin and the frozen carbon fiber. So one thing that might not be included in mine that may be included in yours is things like the hardware. So for instance, rivets and gun are about 13 bucks. And then for the actual, you know, professional, like the cloth, the carbon fiber cloth that we just covered it in, that we skinned it, the second layer, the finishing layer, CF cloth. So the carbon fiber cloth is 20 to 40 bucks. And then the resin and hardener and wax were 20 bucks. 20 bucks, just like that. Okay, now the rest, you know, I had laying around, but you may have to get. So sandpaper, and we'll just put mixing, but that basically means cups, you know, stirrers, all that stuff that you maybe use for mixing, you know, maybe brushes and stuff like that. And this is about 10 bucks. So for everything I have in mind, if I had to go buy the rivets and the gun again, and I had to go buy all that sandpaper, and instead of using, you know, little stuff that I had laying around the house, we'll total this up. So basically $25 here on the resin and pre-preg, and then $13, that's $38. The carbon fiber cloth, we used the high end, so it was $40. And like I say, it was 60 bucks for the kit for these two things. So 60 and 38, that's 98 bucks. And if we had to buy the sandpaper, if I had to go out and do all this from scratch, it would cost $108 to get this exhaust right here. Now what's cool about, you know, the 100 bucks that we spent on this exhaust I wanted a cone that kind of mimicked stock exhaust. You know what I mean? I know it's a lot lighter and a lot smaller than a stock exhaust, but I kind of wanted the mirror look of, you know, kind of a cone cylinder here and then a little end cap here that went down, stepped down a little bit. But overall, I mean, for $100, you can you can build any kind of can that you'd want. If you want it just an oval, like a regular Yoshi pipe or a Austin Racing or SC Project, you could do it like that and then just rivet it in with one piece of carbon fiber. But with this, I wanted a single, you know, one piece carbon fiber exhaust that basically goes onto any mid pipe and you're good to go. I mean, just to kind of show you a little bit better, that's how she looks. I mean, even the end cap, it's still a little glossy and dirty because I haven't really, you know, done anything since I finished it. But yeah, that's everything right there. For $100, you can't beat it. This is basically a Yoshi exhaust, just in a different wrapper, but it's so light. I mean, it's super light. I'd say 3.5 pounds at the most. So it's definitely going to give us a lot of weight savings, and I can't wait to get this on the bike and actually dyno it and see, you know, how close it is compared to the Akrapovic and the other exhausts that are out there for over thousands and thousands of dollars for my bike. So stay tuned for those videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and have a good day.